Alright, blooper reel. We have been traveling all over with this little thing, getting feedback. You'll notice a new enclosure, which is actually already outdated. Things are getting good with Blooper. We're slowly checking off features, but really importantly is we're also trimming some fat, and that's kind of been the story of the last month for me, is how much the concept has changed in small but ultimately meaningful ways. But we will not be getting too into that this month. We're actually right in the middle of a fairly big mini project within Blooper that next month we'll kind of focus on. And it should do wondrous things. Yes. We do have 4 new things, and they're great. They're important, and so we'll get into those. And we visited Andy Othling and his goats, so we're gonna go bloop with him. Yeah, it's just gonna be a nice, fun, casual episode, and we'll get you back to your families, and I'll drink this gigantic beer that I'm drinking. And we'll just do that.
What if we get rid of walking? Might just want to leave some of those bugs in there.
Yeah.
You should have a switch, bug mode. Did you get that?
I did.
Was that a feature?
Okay, so the first thing to talk about is the buttons. They exist. So now we have a button to turn on and off our modifiers, which is great. So we have a speed and direction modifier up here. And you just turn it on and off. Now, you can't see because of my stupid camera angle, but there is the buttons have lights inside of them, so they indicate whether the thing is on or off. I'm just going to show it to you. I can lift it up. I can do that. Light turns on. Light turns off. And those lights will serve another function, and it was a big part of the reason that we added it. So, yeah. No need to talk about that just yet. So, you got these 2 independent modifier buttons. Super good. Just tuck that back in. Cool. So, the second thing we've already done is that we now have our speed modifiers. Now these are speed direction modifiers, so they'll be bi-directional. You can go in reverse. But that's deactivated for the time being. It was working, and it's part of the big project that we alluded to earlier. So no reverse today, but they're in there and they work. So in this channel we have the quantized one, In this channel, we have the unquantized one. Unquantized is good for those rubbery tape stop things. And quantized is better for staying in tune, making changes that won't be dissonant on the fly, that kind of stuff. It's quantized to octaves and fifths. So what I'm going to do right now is record a few layers using fade so that the layers are completely distinct from one another. Okay, cool. So I've recorded a bunch of layers in there. Now, the new function is up here. We've discussed this knob, known as mix right now, formerly known as cross, and soon to be known as something else. When you lock in a loop by pressing both foot switches, this will allow you to crossfade between that locked moment and however your loop sounds in the present. So you lock in a loop, you can record overdubs and changes, and then you can crossfade back and forth between these two moments. Well now, if nothing is locked, this will scan through all of the layers you've recorded. So there's a few reasons we added this feature. One is it was nagging at me that this knob has no function if you don't lock a loop. Now that's something I do. I would always have a loop locked because I'm full of fear. But if you don't, it does nothing. And that always kind of nagged at me. But the thing is, now that we have the fade knob in there and we're able to do what we've done here where you can record these individual layers that are really just their own loops. It's nice to have a way to scan through those. It's actually a very musical thing to do. And of course you could ramp that, or you could control that in a number of ways. So I'm really pleased with this because we've managed to add two functions to one knob while keeping it intuitive and consistent. And you can toggle back and forth, of course. So you can do the locking, you can sweep smoothly, you can unlock, and your layers are still there. So it's not destructive and you don't have to choose between one or the other. So this feels pretty significant, and it just makes the whole thing, to me, feel more complete and more versatile. Alright, cool. And the second related function is we've changed the way that you would do undo and redo with the foot switches. Now, this one is very much a trial. It's something that I was apprehensive about, but on early impression, I think I like it. So here's the deal. Before, you would have to do a double tap here for undo, a double tap here for redo. Now when you hold this knob, it actually brings you into a kind of sub-menu where tapping each of these will undo and redo. And that's silence because my first layer was silence. And to get back out, you just hold. And you're back. So you now have these two new ways to explore layers that really kind of embraces this new concept of recording multiple loops side by side and scanning through them, which is becoming kind of an unintended core function of Blooper, and I use it a lot. So both of these changes allow you to access that in a way that is more performable and more creative.
Watch out for these cactus. Well, this is obnoxious.
Like venture hike? Do they ever just ram into you?
Will they be able to sense my fear? I'm uncomfortable. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
See?
Hi.
This is where I live. In the mountains. Next to goats.
Whoa.
And, well,
It's ramming me. He's getting me. He's getting me.
Hi, Daddy.
what's up?
Why are you in the goat's bed?
It's for work.
Are we safe in here? Will the
Yeah.
goats-
Are we safe in here, Blake?
Are we in danger?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Am I a goat, James?
No.
Oh, okay.
None of you are goats.
Joel might be a goat.
What?
The greatest of all time.
If I was a goat, I'd want to live here.
Aw.
To conquer your fear.
So you're like messing with the code on the fly right now? Or
Not yet.
but you will?
Okay, it should be your toe, Andy.
My toe.
Momentary record.
Oh, so I hold down while I'm recording.
Yeah. Take one.
Okay. I really like that a lot. Because I was doing momentary. I played before, so it'll just pop in. Those little just like bursts. Oh, it's gonna be wild. Whoa. Interesting. I don't know what's happening, but I like all of it. Oh.